Kabir, thank you very much for joining us. We are discussing India's soft power, and in that context, I wanted to ask you: does the Indian film industry or the Bollywood, as such, plays a similar role in projecting the Indian soft power as compared to what the Hollywood does for the United States?
I've traveled a lot in the course of my documentaries, traveled to more than 60 countries while doing these documentaries, and a lot of times when we're doing these films, we would also be focusing on, in fact, the effect that Bollywood has. And I would certainly say that Bollywood has a huge role, if not the most dominant role to play in exuding the soft power from India. Because you go into the streets of the Middle East, North Africa, Southeast Asia, and you say India, and the first thing they utter is either the name of an actor or they start humming a song. So I think definitely Bollywood is what makes the presence of India felt in all these countries. I mean, in my case, it's actually saved my life a couple of times. I remember in Afghanistan once when I was faced by these mujahideen who were looking really angry because I'd landed in territory that I was not supposed to be there, and they were only speaking Dari. All I kept saying was Hindustan, Hindustan, and suddenly this man started singing a song, Mere Sapno Ki Rani Kab Aaogi Tum. So that saved my life. That day I realized how powerful Bollywood is.
Okay. Now, also Bollywood is often accused of not giving a proper or accurate description of the reality. Now, I'm asking this question in the context of the recent movie Airlift, in which the Ministry of External Affairs had to issue a statement saying that it was not a proper description of what the Indian embassy in Baghdad was doing. Do you think it is the Bollywood as such accurately portrays subjects related to Indian foreign policy?
I think it is going to be very difficult, because when you try to make a narrative and you sort of tell a story in an engaging manner, sometimes you take what is called creative liberties, and obviously any ministry is going to be a little very particular about the way things happened, and as filmmakers you can tend to be a little flexible about the facts and how things happen. I think as long as the soul of the film is correct, as long as the film is correct in, I don't want to speak in the context of the specific film Airlift, but I said in a film, if in essence what you're trying to say is correct and the heart is in the right place, then I think you can be a little creative with your fact. So I don't think we'll ever be able to be in a situation where a ministry and the filmmakers will always be at peace with each other. I mean, we've seen this in Hollywood also with the film Argo, which definitely, when you see Argo, it portrays CIA actually in quite a glorious light, but the CIA itself was not happy with Argo, and they issued a disclaimer saying that this is not the way it happened. So I think that's always going to be a tussle. As I said, I think as long as the heart is in the right place of the film, one shouldn't sort of get too particular about the details.
You mentioned about your experience in Afghanistan. With all the time that you spent there in the country and the film that you made, Kabul Express, where do you think the country is headed now, looking at the current situation? And in fact, if I can say, does it provide you enough material for your next movie?
Honestly, when I was making Kabul Express, I really did think that things are going to turn for the better. I really did think that this country is going to change in the next 10 years. Unfortunately, it's been 10 years, and the one is still seeing a renewed sort of Taliban. When I was shooting Afghanistan in Kabul Kabul Express in Afghanistan, we almost thought that the Taliban is passé. It's not going to come back. In fact, the so-called resurgence of Taliban coincided with the filming of Kabul Express. We started shooting there, in the first 14 days saw 3 suicide bombings, and it was a little surprising, because suicide bombings is something that had not happened during the Taliban years, but these were obviously people coming back from Iraq, and this started happening. We had to shut down shooting in Kabul for about 5 days because we got death threats and we had to get security. So it's unfortunate, because I have a lot of friends there. I've constantly been going to that country, and it's unfortunate that it's not what we thought it will be in the next 10 years. But I think the struggle is still going on, and hopefully they should be able to ultimately have peace in that country.
So can we expect another movie on Afghanistan?
Well, there is a lot of material over there, and if I'm ever to go back again for a long time, I might just get that material, because a lot of my material for my films comes from my experiences as a documentary filmmaker. Kabul Express, in fact, is an autobiographical story of what happened with me and my friend. So maybe I go and spend some more time. When I run out of ideas, I think I should go back to Afghanistan and start it all over again.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.